Good evening and welcome to a very special edition here for the Black Table. My name is, of course, Mazino Appeal, but you knew that already. And the reason why you come here, well, we know that. It's because we welcome you into our world and we give you a snippet of what it's like when we gather together as men, of course, with a bit of libation, and we talk about the things that make us men. Well, hey, today is no different, only that we are going to be taking a look at the past 1 quarter of a very exciting show which we started. And we know that you like it, so we'll be revisiting some of the very interesting moments with some of our guests. And of course, let's not forget some of them, as we've had Stan Nze, Philip Azaya, let's not forget Khalid, and the man you all love to comment about on social media, Mr. Femi. Yes, indeed. We have a very interesting day as every single week, which include myself and most times the fastest mouth in the West, well, at least of Nigeria, Mr. Gang. Let's take a short break, and when we get back, we'll be visiting some of these clips that you enjoyed seeing through the past quarter. We'll be back. So welcome back here on the Black Table with me, myself, and I, all three of us, Mazino, Appeal, and Ofu. In any case, let's talk about some of the very interesting moments we've had on the show and the guests. One of my very, very interesting memories from the start of the show was when we had Stan Nze over. First off, you guys loved it because you went on YouTube and we had the most views. Of course, because of the fact that he was very honest. I believe at the time we were talking about relationships and marriage, where he was really honest about how he and his wife on their anniversary were actually having a very bad day, but nobody knew. It happens in all of us, all of our marriages, all of our relationships. But in his case, it was just so honest. Let's take a look at that again. And when we get back, we've got more clips for you. How long have you been married now?
A year.
Oh, okay, you guys have
It's still fresh.
What do you mean we haven't started?
I don't understand. What does that
What do you mean it hasn't started?
Oh, you are not okay. When are you getting married? This is a lesson for you. This is a lesson for you. And listen, gang, back me up here. I think your marriage.
How long have you been married?
Gang, tell him.
Going on 12 years.
Boom. Going on 8 years.
Okay. When did your marriage start?
Mine? My marriage, I think, started before the wedding, sir.
Thank you, sir.
When did your marriage start?
His marriage started today.
No. I'm going to be very honest. My marriage started getting sweeter a year ago.
Why?
And I've been
Why
married
is that?
for going on 8 years.
Yeah, you're
is
living
that?
the word of
Why
God. He
is
said it will be from glory to glory.
Amen.
Yes, so
Amen.
the wine when they leak before, they go, they sweet. Oh, you're living your best life, bro. Congratulations.
No, but here's the real reason. And I think because you have nothing, no other year to compare with, you might not agree with me. So it's fine. Gang, maybe you might. I don't know. At this rate.
So I agree with you. I agree.
I had a sweet first year. So if you're saying that in 5 years it will be sweeter than what I'm experiencing now,
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. But
that's good.
Your marriage is not complete without the strife. Your marriage is not complete without the bad times. And those bad times are very important. They will come. They will test you.
Absolutely.
And some marriages have them more than others. In my case, I've had a fair share of tough times, you know, strife and arguments and fights and big fights and all of that. And I only started to appreciate these bad times. Appreciate the bad times only just a year ago.
Okay.
Because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
So it's not about the marriage starting now. It's about how you received or how you perceived your marriage per time.
Yeah.
So marriage that started long ago, you can decide that I want to be happy 90%. On the first day, you can decide.
No, you don't decide.
Wait. You can. I know you had said something before you started rolling about how sometimes you cannot really, even if you don't want to fight, the other party will bring a fight.
Yeah.
But I can decide to. So you know, marry witch. You know, marry wizard. You know, if you decide to keep short, if you decide, so you know your partner's love language. Yeah, you know how she wants to fight. You know how you. It's easy for you to accommodate her. You know how it's easy. You know the things when you go do her mumu button. Some things when you go press. It goes. But sometimes we don't want to do it because he said today this mumu. I don't want to press.
Let me warn you. Let me warn you. So in my case, I think I was a stubborn one.
So somebody's always stubborn.
Look it.
You know what to do.
But
But you
here's a
don't want
warning
to.
for you, Sha. Know thyself before you get married. That was my problem. I don't think I actually knew who I was.
Discovered yourself enough.
So when are you getting married? To whom? How many years? How many years difference between you? All those are very important questions.
Just know that you're on live TV.
Gang, wait.
Anything you say now can be used against you.
I'm not saying too much.
Well, I had this problem with a friend of mine. I said, why didn't you tell me? about this, because he got married and he never told me about the stripes and everything. Right? These are things that you should tell people, and I'm telling you now, everything matters. The person you're getting married to, who they're married to, where they come from, not where the location per se, but the kind of
background.
Yeah.
Now, it's not that it's a bad thing. Is that you have to just note how you're going to navigate the differences that you guys have to be able to make it a good one. So who is it? Where? When? How?
Soon.
Next month.
Talk
next
now.
You get to know.
It's
soon.
sexier when you tell them.
So what's the next topic?
He doesn't want to
He's trying to dodge. But here's
you want me
another
to
thing.
talk now? Kiki will not. Njideka will not call him. Did you just say you are getting? Who is the person?
Who is the person?
Here's another thing. One thing about marriage, especially I can still call you a newlywed since it's just a year. The thing is, you've not done it before. You have no experience. Like Zeno said, where I can agree with him is that you have nothing to compare it to. Maybe you have a good year, then you have a bad year, then you have other years. As long as the bad times don't break you, you have something to say, we've been through this, we've been through the ups and downs, we made it, so now we can say our marriage has officially started. For example, now, you don't have kids yet.
No.
Do you understand? That also changes some dynamics in marriage.
Tell me about.
You get me? Now you and your partner are perfect. Kids are an additional blessing that come. When they come now, certain things will change. It's how you handle it to be able to say, we're now a family that has included other parties in the marriage that makes you show you've grown.
Yeah, I was going to say something. Like, you were saying that he doesn't have years to compare with, but he has months.
Nah, let's compare the first month.
Dude, you know how women love anniversaries? Women love anniversaries.
I still think
I did first month anniversary. I did first month. I celebrated 3 months, 6 months. All my small wins. Let's say why you carry it in the head. Let me carry it in my head.
It's not easy.
Some people they celebrate 3 months of breaking. And I heard that they do like divorce parties.
Oh yeah.
And
they do that.
Like. What?
But have you
sometimes you're in a
considered
bad marriage and you leave.
You're not throw a party. No. You're not throw party. Go call your friends. People will do bridal shower. No.
So the dynamic also changes with kids.
Absolutely, I know.
And in many cases, it also the sex of the child also matters as well. If it's a boy child or a girl child, it affects it. So for me now, currently, my wife's gonna kill me. I have a daughter. Oh God, I love my daughter. Jesus Christ, my wife will actually say sometimes that, is it not because it's not rain? But the truth is, a father's love for his daughter, incomparable. You can't compare it to anything. So that is also something that you have to consider as well.
So are you saying fathers don't love their son?
They do, but it's a different kind of love.
So I learned something a while ago about attitude. Attitude is everything. You cannot determine the things that happen to you or how people react to you, but you can determine how you react to the things that happen. Certainly there are things I don't have control over. Boy, girl, how your wife talk to you, how she receive you, I cannot control that. But what I can control is how I respond to it. So you know, in your head now, you have 2 reactions to give. Should I bone? Should I just smile and receive this thing? You have the choice to make. And whatever comes out of whatever reaction you bring out, smile or bone, will determine how that person would keep acting up.
Yeah,
true. So sometimes it's not easy for us. You have to always say, you know what, not today. The times I met my wife and I have had like some fallout is because, you know, you divest, me I divest, I no agree today.
Today, I want to be mad. I want to be mad. Let's go be mad.
On an anniversary day, we went to church we're not talking to ourselves. And we got to church. Apparently, we have like a community of fans that love the Nigerians community, and they've come with all those money cakes, all those tray of food outside church. Me, I was saying I'm late. I was not in the mood, and I think he posted the videos. It was obvious that I couldn't fake it. I couldn't fake that I was happy. I was not. We know they talk. When I come, they celebrate. We celebrate. But my wife already, he's fine. He's not in a good end. He's emotional about it. I want to say, he said, Ronnie, we're not talking. So you decide. I had a choice to say, you know what? I don't know who will see us. Let me just fake it and just or let's make up in the car genuinely, so that if we see somebody, we will not have to be faking that we're happy when we're not. So you have to make the decision.
You guys got good times coming, man. I can see that.
We do. It's going to be fun.
But as actors, there are so many times you're not happy that you have to fake it.
Well, so I don't want to suffer and smile. That's one of the big vows I made. I don't want to have to. So if I'm not happy, I go bone. So you go no say no they happy.
Stand, hold that thought. Nice one though. I love your marriage. You know, it's fantastic. I'm sure everybody out there does too. Tell you what we're gonna do. Take a short break. We've got more segments inside of this. The rat.
Drink.
The Black Table. We'll be back. Still the Black Table here, welcome back. So, we're talking about the guests and the favorite moments that we had on the show. I remember one time with one young man that came from the Big Brother lot. I had always thought that Big Brother fans or Big Brother entrants were, but this guy surprised me. His name was Khalid. Young, millennial, no, not millennial, Gen Z, classic millennial myself. I thought maybe he wasn't going to be that interesting, but he blew our mind and he left us with one of the most memorable lines or quotes or what do you call them? Anecdotes? I don't know what you call it, but the letters were PNC. Who remembers that one? Let's just take this clip and you'll remember, trust me. And you're welcome. If you were with us, we have had a very, very interesting conversation. And while the cameras were off, a different show actually happened. But now that we're back here, we'll try to bring you guys up to speed. Please, Khalid.
Yes, brother.
Define PNC.
Okay, PNC, that's post-nut clarity.
You guys, hey, get ready to get schooled. What is post-nut clarity?
So basically, as a guy, when you're done, and that realization after you've, PNC'd, you get that clarity. That clarity. And you're like, at that point in time, you just feel like a shitty person.
Yeah, what? Gag, you have some
That's
experience.
Why you say,
no, but
never go into battle with a loaded gun.
No, exactly. When you make 1 billion, next time you make 1 billion naira, first of all, make sure that you hit
you ejaculate.
Babes always ask, why is it that after sex, guys, just act very withdrawn and all that? It's not like
it's the clarity and the guilt.
It's the clarity and the guilt.
Yep. Yep. That's the clarity that comes. See, there's a lot of pressure you put on yourself when you want to engage in sexual activity with a woman. And then once you're done, which is just a couple of minutes or however long it takes, your head clears and you'll be like, what just happened? What did I just do? Did I have to do this or not? So there's just so much testosterone, there's so much stuff built in your system. They're like, I need to get this out of my system. And after it happens, you have that moment of clarity that if I had known.
I saw this funny tweet a while back. So it was one of these questions. What if you get $10 billion, now what would you do? Then there's this guy's comment that stood out. I laughed so hard. He said, first of all, I need PNC. I'm going to jack off, get PNC to actually spend this money because I got the thing straight. I laughed so hard.
It is very true. We're laughing about it now, but there is such a thing, ladies, actually.
Yeah. People don't know this. There's
real.
Yeah. There's this guilt.
PNC
there's this guilt that comes
because
with
guys. Guys are just asses and they've used you, but sometimes it's just that guilt. Like you're just in your head.
I think wives should take note. If you want your husband to actually tell the truth or be very clear on something, you should just set him off on one, and then he'll divulge anything. Let me bring it back to the initial topic we were talking about, this polygamy thing. Now, is it that there is a lack of perhaps maybe sexual activity inside a person's life that makes him want to go outside and find other?
That's a factor. That's a factor.
Wait, you say sex a factor? As a young man, hold on. Do you agree?
It's a factor, but it's deeper than that. I think as human beings, as men, we are such complex creatures. At some point, you want just the body. At other times, you want intellectual stimulation,
conversation.
Yeah, so it's not even about the sexual nature now of things that makes you move out. It's deeper than that. I told you earlier that before I got married, maybe some 5, 6, 7 years ago, all I wanted to do.
7 years ago.
No, not to, I got married 5 years ago. So
Okay,
that's
longer
like,
than that.
Like 10 years ago. Not even 10, probably 11, 15 years ago.
A very long time
A very
ago.
long time ago.
That's accepted.
You know, all I wanted to do was just
Knock
hit anything, you know.
Got a
you know.
slit in the middle. He's
Strap.
hitting it.
But now, my brother, oh God.
You're not moved to.
I'm
It's
not
not something like
moved.
you're like.
You know, so
it's not so. For me, sex, especially inside of marriage, sex. It doesn't become. Initially, maybe it would be about
Yeah.
sex, but after that,
But
you're
no,
like,
it's deeper
I
than
would
that.
rather just sit inside of my living room with my wife and my daughter
Yeah.
away and just enjoy our
Yeah.
company. So I'm still confused as to perhaps maybe why it might be a factor for people to want to be polygamous and go
Yeah.
outside and look for more. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, because at the same time, I get where you're coming from, because your relationship can never be founded on sex. Because even as married people, as you guys can testify, there's not always sex there. It's how you and your partner can be together without the sex, the conversations, the hanging out, the gist, the communication. If all it is about sex, and that sex will reduce, it will fail, it will depreciate, it will go down.
Somebody said this: if you had a jar and you put a marble inside a jar before you get married, for every time you had sex, you put a jar, it's gonna get full. And then when you get married, you take out a marble for every time you have sex. That thing's gonna be there for years.
Now, why I say sex is also a factor, because I feel people have lost the art of conversation.
Yeah.
Because if I've gone to places, my friends, and because I don't know, for some reason we always run into people like this, and the guy is dropping bars for
Who do you
babe.
hang out with?
Yeah,
But go on.
no, like I'm an artist, so always go out to seek out jobs, paint. So run into people, and that's how I built my network and my conversation skills. Meeting different people. So there's always that one guy that is dropping bars for a babe, and you just be like, how did a full sentient human being come up with this slacking lines? And you can't hold a conversation these days. And when they actually meet a normal person who is supposed to, know how to, or rather who knows how to have a conversation, so that person is normal, but because they haven't seen that in a while, that person looks extraordinary to them. So I feel the art of conversation has, left the room. So people delve into sex, and they see people as sexual partners. They want to get married. So once that sex dies off now, they're like, okay, now they're seeing the person there. What's left?
Now, while we're still on the topic of conversation versus sex, married. Let's play a small game and take poll here. How long have you gone without sex inside of your marriage?
I can't relate.
I know, right? How long? And be very honest.
There's a way I can check. I know that thing they call a cycle is for most is 29 days. So I would say about maybe 3 weeks.
So yours is based on the cycle, not based on anything.
No, it's just a parameter to know how long I've stayed.
3 weeks. You're married for 5 years, 3 years. Gang.
Wow.
Let's all take a drink before you answer.
Drum roll. I really wish we could go to commercials right now.
Drum roll.
No, here's the thing. I've been married for almost this is getting on 12 years.
Yeah.
Getting on 12 years. There've been times when I would say I always was telling myself when I was getting married that a week shouldn't pass by, 7 days, unless it's that time of the month. But I've gone to as long as 2 months.
2 months.
2 months thereabout, and so, trust me, some Lagos girls started looking nice at the time. I felt I was being deprived of something that I want.
What was the reason why you were, away from sex?
No, sometimes some people feel as if once you're married, you just have access to sex 24 hours whenever you want. It's like your beck and call. No, consent is still involved. So your wife needs to want to have sex with you. And if she says no, there's nothing you can do.
This next clip was one that I thought, hey, I've lost it. I have no control over the show anymore. It's gone. What am I going to do? In fact, I don't think I even saw that clip after because I was too embarrassed. We had a couple of guests on this show, and by name, Philip Hassani, who was sitting right to my left here, and of course, to my right was Mr. Kelechi Udegbe, award-winning Nigerian actor. And they completely took over the show. It was a ruckus. I was embarrassed, and I'm sure that you guys noticed. I'm surprised people didn't actually tell when you guys saw it on Instagram or on social media. But they completely went like men. That was actually a very, very good sample of what we're like when we're all let loose. Let's remind ourselves what it was like, and we'll be back. So this is the thing, yeah? There have been cases where women, like older men, perhaps maybe she just didn't discover herself, know thyself before marriage. And
this is where I want to come in. This is where I want to come in. I want to come in with something serious, actually. I said it can go both ways. When you hear that someone is cheated, we're always very quick to go to the cheater and forget the cheatee.
Thank you.
Now the cheatee could have a problem, man.
Thank you.
A lot of people attack the cheater, but you don't attack the cheatee. No, the cheatee. It's possible the cheatee has done something in the past.
Cheater 101.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's possible. You see now. Listen to you all cheatees out there. Okay,
that's if you've been cheated.
If you've been cheated on.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking, ask yourself questions. I always tell myself and my wife. We tell ourselves we're something our foundation of our relationship, even when we're dating, was truth. Okay. See, truth is actually everything. Yeah. Tell yourselves the truth. I'm talking about the darkest of truth. Your partner is supposed to know the darkest of your truth. If the person cannot take it.
I got one for you there. It falls right along that alley. Now you're saying tell yourself the darkest of truth. Does this include, Buma, please help me out here. Does this include the truth from way back in the past?
Oh boy, very way back.
No, but if it does not
all those way back truths.
If they come front to
no. See, what is your business between me and somebody who I dated 10 or 20 years ago?
No. If the person is still in your life now,
okay.
If the person is the one washing your car, if the person is the one taking your children to school,
you jammed him somewhere.
If the person is working in your office, brother, that truth of the past is now the truth of the present.
So you have to just banish every memory from anybody you've dated in your entire life.
I think what he's trying to say. I think what he's trying to say.
I'm helping people out there.
I think what he's trying to say. What he's trying to say is, for example, if I dated somebody in my past,
yes,
and all of a sudden, right, the person is working in the same office with me.
Exactly.
It's just a good idea to tell my wife, oh, this is girl that just resumed at the office. We had something before.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Because when you do that, you it's really cool. And I think also
have you ever cheated in any relationship? Not your. In fact, I know you won't confess to anyone inside.
No, but I haven't.
This is
actually
understandable. But in any relationship, let's Kelechi.
Yes, but I wouldn't say.
Let's talk about
I wouldn't say like.
Yes,
that's what. No. That's why I say. That's why I say something about relationships. Right? Where is this shit going? Where this thing they go? Shall we just the knack? Based on a good knack can be re-knacked. If only the knacker and the knacky agreed that the knack that was knacked was Nakademus.
I don't like this. I don't like this friendship.
Kelechi, you have spoken.
Kelechi,
you have spoken. You have spoken.
Kelechi, wait, see. So are you saying that if you are in a relationship and it doesn't seem like as if it has headway where it's going, you are free to now cheat on that person?
Bro, sometimes relationship not boredom. Sometimes like you dey bored. You don't understand. You know, you just dey bored. You see this girl, you say, I just dey flow, they talk. Nothing much, and I can't knack. Nothing much. So kind of relationship be like
Mazino, waiting you dey call. Make I ask this question. What do you call relationship?
What do you call relationship?
What do be your definition of relationship?
I'm coming, but Boma, do you get this now? The relationship is not going anywhere. You seem to know that this is no work, and then you go outside. Is that allowed? Is that okay in your books?
It's not still cheating if you guys are in a relationship.
My brother, what be the relationship, bro? What be the definition of relationship? No.
We meet for party. Sorry, we meet for party like yesterday night or the first. We meet for street or meet somewhere. How far for a same number? We begin talk. We can't like each other. We can't hang out one weekend. We can't knack. Hang out next week.
Are you calling that a relationship?
Are we in a relationship?
This is the problem. This is why I say we don't tell ourselves the truth.
Are we in a relationship?
There was something you said that time we were talking about, from the past, how things have changed from way back in the past.
Of course.
You said, we'll say that thing again about
culture,
that cassette.
Yes, I say in those days, like you said. I say in those days. Now Kelechi talk about. Kelechi, now you talk that thing.
No, Kelechi.
But it's true.
You relate, like now your house go
I know that.
Let him say.
But it's true what Kelechi said. It's true.
Say it.
I think the reason why people confuse things nowadays is because they treat things with frivolities. Sex is supposed to be something done after a particular thing is done.
Yes.
After a particular thing is done, probably wooing,
Exactly.
Cutting, saying, putting things on the table. I am now boyfriend, I'm now girlfriend. Let us now go into the room and have sex. So Kelechi said something, and I agree with him. In those days, things were not treated with frivolities like this.
Never.
Sex wasn't just a...
Never.
It was sacred. You don't see it on the street.
Kissing was blue film. Touch hand like this, the girl don't get belly.
First base.
Now, in talk say, in those days, now one cassette, blue film, now one cassette, VCR, now the whole street they use. You see, after you watch, you go come hand over to the next house. Say, brother, I don't want you to see the show. I got some. Take lights. But you never take lights. Anything hang inside. You carry screwdriver. You go remove that thing. Stay after you don't finish. After all of you don't watch finish, the whole street, all of you now sit down. It's like a discussion between boys. Now. What did you learn? So they carry moral lessons, go out.
You said something to that. Women, what do you say about women?
Women, I said the reason why we have washed up men is because we have washed up women.
Nice.
If women should raise their standards, men will raise their standards.
Because that was how it was.
That's how it's supposed to be.
With the use dictionary, they
write
letter.
Yourself already now. That's you've already just said the point I'm trying to make now. That things have changed so far. Right now, it's like as if everything is just so ordinary and just so
everything is so, and that's no proper dates, no.
That's
you don't even toast.
Tell you what, I don't know if we'll have time to actually touch on this when we get back, but we're going to be expecting your messages that you sent in using the hashtag #TheBlackTable on TVC when we get back, and maybe you can express some more of this cheating 101 and this what's it called?
The cheater and the cheatee.
The cheater and the cheatee.
And when a good knack is knocked, it can be re-knocked. Only if the knacker and the knacky agree that the knacker was knocked was what? Nakademos.
We'll be right back. We have so much fun on this show here. So many drinks, by the way, and the guests premium. Now, I remember one time, of course, it was kind of like a battle between the biggest mouth in the house and the most confident guest we've ever had. I'm talking about that time when we had Femi, who everybody loves to hate, and Hassani in the building. And I think the topic was something about Lillian effect by telling that if you don't have a house, don't date me. I thought it was one of the most interesting moments here on the Black Table, and I'm sure that you do as well. Hassani was on fire that day, and it was very, very interesting to see the tables turn on the other person whom we've always known to be on fire, by way of Femi. Let's take a look at this, remind you what it was like. It was rather fun. What do you think? Do you think that she has any bit of sense in that statement?
She has serious sense.
Let him go first.
Okay. She has serious sense in what she's saying. That's our opinion. That's what she needs. That's fine.
Grander picture, not just.
So we actually live in a world now where everybody can say anything and do anything. That's the world we live in now. Because ordinarily, no right-thinking human being will say what she said.
No,
like, even if you have that opinion,
don't worry, Rick.
Even if you have that opinion, you keep it to yourself. And I like to be factual. So you say that, and I like the angle he came from. Like, is she saying that as that's how it should be, or is that a personal thing?
Yeah.
If it's a personal thing, fine. God be with you.
Yeah.
Now, if you're putting that out there as, you know what, these are supposed to be the standards, it's heavily flawed. Now, let's just do random maths. At what age do most people really get married in Nigeria? At what age do they get married?
For men?
Late 20s. Men and women, late 20s, early 30s, right?
Yep.
I don't even have to look at any facts. I don't have to look at any numbers. House owners in Nigeria today, this is a country where 60% of the population is living under poverty. House owners today are in their 40s and above. So are you saying that people should get married when they are in their... What about... That's even going too far. How many people actually own houses in Nigeria today?
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. So I'm fresh out of school. I'm 28. The cheapest thing you could buy would be like a 50 million naira apartment.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So
in the outskirts.
In outskirts.
Yeah.
We're not even talking about better zones. 50 million. So let's be honest. What are you doing as a 27-year-old guy, fresh out of school, and in 5 or 6 years,
You can actually put together 50. This is not Yankee where you can just pay down payment and pay the rest. So if you are buying a house, if you see anybody driving a car in Nigeria, you don't pay. You see anybody saying this miles, you don't
Straight
pay.
up, nothing like credits, yeah.
So if I come to you as a 30-year-old guy and I tell you that I have a flat that is mine,
two things. You see that your father is from,
So let's take that.
You can do jobs now, like there's armed robbery,
yes,
you know,
Yahoo.
which is really great.
Because
people. There's kidnapping. There's so many jobs you can do. There's kidnapping.
Because
so many fun things.
So you see what I say.
If not.
You see what I mean when I say that these people who put out these things are causing a very bad situation where people now think, I have to be that guy.
I'm not measuring up.
No,
I'm not measuring up. I have to go and
I think she should have. Who is the person? She's a what? Actress or what?
Liliana Feber, yes. She's. Quincy, you're not saying anything, by the way.
Because I have a lot to say. I'm listening to you first.
No, but who's the girl?
I have a lot to say, but I'm listening to you. Bro, look, first, preference, right? Which is okay. But on a general note, I agree. I'm of the opinion that you should not get into such relationship status, if you're not doing well financially. And
Define
to a certain if you can afford to buy a house in Nigeria of today and you can afford to buy a car, you're comfortable, you're very okay. And you can marry.
So everybody
I'm
else
not married because I've not bought a house yet.
maybe you're still 23 or 24.
No,
I'm not. I'm well over.
I feel like that buying a house thing is overrated, man.
Baba.
Well, why is it overrated?
I just feel like, why, man? You can keep renting and be fine. And I'm saying it because I have 2 houses, bro. I actually have 2 houses.
You're the kind of people that you're the kind of people that my mother said you well.
That's fact, and I'm even.
But you're not married yet.
No.
So now let's fine. We
But
have a prime
I feel
example.
like why, like buying a house is there's too much pressure to buy a house, buy a house. That's like 50 mil or 100 mil or
minimum.
That's money you can put into some kind of business
Rick,
and keep renting a place and be
the kind
fine.
of person you would date or you're dating. What kind of person would it be? Would it be this lady now who has this preference in mind that, oh, no, this has to be my man?
To be honest, I would like that girl.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
At least she knows what she wants, and she's calculating and she's saying it for herself by herself. That's fine by me.
Are you dating anyone right now?
No.
Lillian! Lillian!
I don't know who she is. I don't know who she is. You understand? But my thing is, before as a man, you have to have money before you bring another human being into your situation.
Oh, that's understandable.
You have to have money. I don't care. I don't know. I don't get when people say, "Oh no, you have to see his potential, bro." If he has potential, he'll be paid for the potential, and he will have money. And you're like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so let me put it to you guys.
If you even check it, like 80% or even more, I don't know what the statistic is, but why people divorce? It's money.
No, majorly financial.
It's money.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
When people say things like that, it makes me laugh. You know why? Because all I have to do is just press rewind on my life. Press rewind. Just go back, take it back 10 years, 20 years. And in all honesty, one day I was driving and I was like, man, life has gone full circle. If I had seen myself on the road, I probably wouldn't even say hi to me now. And in all honesty, and I'm not playing, if I had to wait to this point to get married, I'm not going to get married to anybody.
You said that a lot
because there's nothing you're bringing. Do you understand what I'm like? There's, in fact, you're taking away from me.
No, but don't you think that's a bit selfish? Because I want to believe that you almost said you were broke.
I'm one of those people that don't. There's no shame.
So
in
what?
me.
That's not the
broke.
You're missing my point. That's not even where I'm going. Where I'm going is you were broke and you were willing to settle down with your broke self. But now when you don't get money, you don't want to settle down. No, come on, man.
No,
that's
okay, so let me put it to you like this. It's very, very simple. It's very, very simple.
Yeah.
As a man, your options become glaring to you when you have money.
Yeah. You don't know who you are.
Your options. So what does that mean?
So this is exactly what it means.
What do you mean by glaring? Like more obvious?
Like when you're on the grind and you have nothing, the only thing you think about is money, 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 money. So you don't even look at women. You don't look at anything. In fact, you think you are a very modest guy. All I need are the little things. No, you never get money. Yeah. The day you start to buy a Rolex, you're like, oh, now maybe this. Now maybe this.
You feel
So guess what? While you were on the grind, there are girls that would look at you and be like, that you look at her and you're like, ah, this is way out of my league.
Yeah.
Imagine getting to a point where that girl that is way out of your league is now in your DM saying, what's up, handsome?
Yeah.
It's a different ball game entirely.
Yeah. Yes.
And then you're now having 3, 4, 5 of that.
Yes.
It's a different ball game entirely.
Yeah.
Now, the girl you would have settled for when you're on the grind is not the same girl you settle for when you are
So you're saying that for a man, money and
question
success and growth gives you more options of how.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Let me ask that question. So when we set out to start the show, we actually had quite the dilemma. Who was going to be the second chair host? Well, it wasn't long, and then we decided maybe we should get one fellow we've always heard on radio who's quite witty, quite quick. Not so handsome, but we made do. We invited Gang over for our very first episode, and it was a blast. And I'm sure these cutaways are going to remind you why we think that he is such a big asset for the Black Table. Let's take it away.
Now, here's the thing about me. I am willing to sacrifice everything I have and own to make sure my kids get the best.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
You get me? In order they get the best. So, regardless of how much I make, she can consider that, but she knows what she wants. There's a certain level she doesn't want to go below. So, here's the thing. When it comes to fees, I want them to be here. If what I earn is not up to that standard, she can come in and say, I'll top it up.
Because quality education is really
You understand?
important.
So I will top it up. The sole responsibility, or like some other Nigerian men, the sole responsibility is not on me 100%. But if I can provide 100%, you know how most ladies are. I shouldn't say this, but most ladies are. If the guy can provide 100%, sit back and relax.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's Nigeria. That's a typical Nigerian household.
Yes, the typical Nigerian household is if you can provide it, if the man can pay rent, if the man can pay fees, sit back and relax. Your money is for shopping.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm with Zeno on 2 points. Sometimes it's the intent. When you do certain things with certain levels of honesty, you see somebody looking good, you compliment them.
Remember, I was just coming from
or
radio
you reach
at
out
the
to
time.
touch their dreads in like Zeno's situation. You didn't have any intentions. You're just being honest from the kind of person he is. Now, it also comes from the angle of the person that's receiving it and how they feel. Do they feel harassed? A lot of things that I've noticed sometimes is if women like you and they play with you to a certain extent, they don't mind the gestures you make towards them. It's the person they don't like and don't welcome that they now feel harassed towards. Like I usually say, harassment is more of a woman thing because to spell it, you have to put her ass inside you. You get me? So that's why it's seen more like a female thing. The question is, do men get harassed? Have you guys ever felt harassed by a female?
Violated.
Pause.
Yesterday. Violated.
You can't base it on how a woman is dressed.
Why?
Because
No.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Femi, let me tell you why.
Why?
If you are on a beach and women are in bikinis and you're there in your little swimsuit, do you feel harassed?
I mean, I went to the beach.
Calm down.
These
are women in bikinis.
Okay, go
Do
ahead.
you understand? You're having a good time.
I see where you're going with this.
They're in their bikinis, feeling free and dressed a certain type of way.
Okay.
Now they decide to come to the office with a short skirt, and all of a sudden you feel that skirt is too short. I feel harassed.
Have you ever gone to a Lagos wedding recently?
See, I've been to Lagos weddings,
I
and a lot of people advertise themselves at weddings.
So what stops me, the guy, from coming in boxers and singlet as well, though?
Tough.
If that's your thing, this is the problem I have. It's a very thin line to the reason why some women, it goes from harassment to rape. People will tell you, I raped this girl because of how she was dressed. When you come along, I'm playing devil's advocate now.
The way Gang is putting
You
it
know
is
what
like
women
there's
say?
an
I'm telling you,
imbalance.
what's the first question they ask women when they get raped? What was she wearing? How was she dressed?
Well, I think that's unfair, though. That's
if you
completely
feel
unfair.
harassed based on how a woman is dressed, that means they're not free to wear what they want.
First time I heard Friday night.
But check this out. The first time I actually heard this, it was in the other direction. And they were telling women that if your husband does everything you says, you know, he's your child and not you're supposed to be a partner in this kind of situation. So I think it goes both ways for men and women. So here's the thing. I agree with this 100%. You understand? You're dealing with adults that you met and have different ways that they were raised from different homes and different cultures. If you pick somebody like myself, for an example,
coming from the central part of the country and marrying a woman from the southwest were raised differently.
Absolutely.
Do you understand? So we have different expectations. It's the compromise when you meet at certain points. There are certain things my wife wants for my kids that I'm like, nah, not that. There's certain things I want as well that she's like, no, not that. So it's finding a mutual point where you can agree on certain terms. But once you are in a relationship where somebody feels you must always do my bidding, that relationship is messed up. It's a totalitarian. What's that word they use? It's like a dictatorship. You get where I'm coming from, and that thing is doomed to fail.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade a spade, and let's stop justifying bad behavior. That is the way society is supposed to be. Do you understand? That's the way society is supposed to be. By your own moral standard. Quincy, do you have kids?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. You get me? And you're not married as well.
No.
You see, for me, sometimes I think sex is overrated. It's overrated, and people attach so many things to it, especially with two consenting adults. You get where I'm coming from? But then at the same time, that's how society should be. Why are you having sex with somebody that is not your partner? And then when things like the abortion situation come up, it creates more problems. You get me? When paternity issues come up, it creates that problem. When diseases come up, it creates that problem. So there's so many issues.
This guy can run for governor.
There's so many issues that sex brings. And
you're so convincing.
And it's something to cherish. Just that a lot of you guys, like, I don't want to mention names on the table here, but Quincy Jones, you know you don't waka. You get me? You don't waka.
Wow.
So the problem with sex is that once you taste that forbidden fruit, it's not for, you understand?
Wait, logically now.
It's so sweet that you want more and more and more.
Well, gang, logically.
It's easy for a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
It's easy for a woman to say, I can have that guy and
get
have
it.
him.
Yeah.
The problem I've always, this has happened to me before, and I'm sure that's happened to a lot of people. If a woman is making a move on you, and you are saying no as a man, they immediately start to suspect one or two things.
Your sexuality?
Yes, they start to suspect your sexuality, or they assume you've been with somebody.
Oh.
Do you understand?
No, you've been with somebody, how do you mean it?
You've been with somebody recently. Do you understand?
Or you're in a serious
Like
thing.
if my wife is making a pass at me tonight, if I get back home,
and
I'm like, no, I'm not in the mood.
Yeah.
It shocks her, like, how can you not be in the mood?
Okay, I get you.
Have you been with somebody? Are you with somebody? How can I be
Are you
making a
messing
pass
around?
at you?
Yeah.
And you are rejecting. Do you understand? But a woman, when you flip it, she's allowed to say, I have a headache.
Yeah.
I'm not in the mood.
Man, not cool. Not
and
fair.
then you have no suspicions at all.
Yeah,
not
but
fair,
once a
ladies.
guy
Yeah,
says
it's not
no,
fair.
there's like there has to be a problem.
Well,
Are you?
I want to talk. It's been quite an evening here for the Black Table. It's a bit lonely for me in here, but hey, those memories will keep me going for a while. I feel like I've been with all the people who have been on the show just this one day, all of them put together. I'd also like to say that there are many people you don't get to see who are behind the cameras or who are putting together all the topics and everything that we talk about here on the Black Table, and would like to say thank you to all of them. I can't mention them by name because it's the Black Table and no ladies around allowed, but most of them are actually very, very, very astute, great producers who are always behind the scenes making sure everything goes right. Thank you very much. And thank you to everybody out there who's, well, stayed up every single Friday night to hear us talk about our shenanigans and our views on most of the topics that we bring to you. Thank you. Tell you what, come next year, we plan to make it a bigger show, a wetter one too. More personalities, more topics, more Mazzino. Hey, what can I say? Good night.